The laughter echoed cruelly in the tiled bathroom, bouncing off the walls like shards of broken glass. Claire stood at the sink, her hands trembling as she tried to focus on the running water instead of the mocking voices behind her. "What are you even doing here?" one boy sneered. "This school isn't for freaks who sit alone at lunch." Another added, "Yeah, hiding in the bathroom won't make you any less pathetic." The third boy chuckled darkly, "Bet she doesn't even have the guts to say anything back." Claire's heart pounded in her chest. She'd endured weeks of whispers, cruel laughter, and stares since transferring to this new school. Nobody knew her story. Nobody knew what she carried beneath her sleeve. And though she wanted to scream, she bit her lip until it hurt, trying to hold it all in. But this time, something inside her snapped. She turned slowly, her eyes locking onto theirs. For the first time, her gaze didn't flicker away. "You think you know me?" she said softly, her voice steady despite the storm raging inside. "You have no idea." The boys smirked, egging each other on, not expecting her to fight back. But then, with a calmness that sent chills through the air, Claire rolled up her right sleeve. There, inked into her skin, was the bold mark of the Rangers, an elite youth survival and rescue program known across the state. It wasn't just a tattoo. It was a badge of honor earned through brutal training, courage, and sacrifice. The boys froze instantly, their faces draining of color. Everyone had heard of the Rangers. They were the kids who hiked through forests and storms, who learned to save lives when disaster struck, who pushed past fear when others ran. To bear the Ranger mark meant strength, discipline, and resilience far beyond their imagination. Claire's voice broke the heavy silence. "While you spent your summers laughing at people like me, I was out there in the wilderness. Climbing cliffs, swimming rivers, and carrying others to safety. I earned this mark because I refused to give up, even when it hurt." Her words cut through their bravado, leaving them stunned. But behind her calm tone lay a story none of them knew. Just a year earlier, Claire had been fragile and broken. Her father, a forest ranger himself, had died in a rescue mission, leaving her lost in grief. She'd been the quiet girl in every room, the one no one noticed. Until one day, she signed up for the Ranger program to honor his memory. The training nearly broke her, nights shivering under pouring rain, days climbing until her hands bled, moments where fear of failure almost consumed her. But each time she wanted to quit, she remembered her father's words, "Strength isn't about being fearless, Claire. It's about standing up again, even when you've been knocked down." She pushed through, and against all odds, she became one of the youngest to earn the Ranger mark. But here at school, nobody knew. To them, she was just the quiet transfer student. To them, Sile. The sound of laughter in the school bathroom was sharp, like a knife scraping glass. Claire stood at the sink, staring at her reflection in the mirror. She kept her head down, pretending to focus on the water trickling over her hands. But her heart was pounding, her throat tightening as the mocking voices grew louder behind her. "Look at her," one boy sneered, his tone dripping with cruelty. "Always hiding in here like some scared little mouse." "Yeah," another chimed in, "I bet she eats her lunch in the bathroom too. Doesn't she have any friends?" The third boy leaned against the wall, smirking. "Pathetic." "What's wrong, Claire? Cat got your tongue." Claire swallowed hard. Their words stung, but this wasn't new. She had endured whispers in the hallways, mocking laughs at her quietness, cruel jokes about her being weird. But today, something inside her stirred. Something heavy. Something she had been holding back for far too long. She turned slowly, meeting their eyes with a gaze that was steady for the first time. Her voice, though quiet, cut through the air. "You think you know me? You don't." The boys laughed harder, nudging each other, amused that she dared to speak up. They expected her to crack, to cry, to run. But instead, Claire took a deep breath and began rolling up her sleeve. The smirks vanished. Etched into her arm was the unmistakable Ranger mark, a bold emblem that only a few could earn. It wasn't a tattoo for style. It was a badge of survival, discipline, and sacrifice. It meant she had trained with one of the toughest youth rescue organizations in the country. It meant she had endured storms, hunger, exhaustion, and fear, and overcome all of it. The bathroom fell silent. The boys froze, staring at the mark as if it glowed. Claire's voice was steady now. While you were busy laughing at kids like me, I was climbing cliffs, swimming rivers, and learning to carry people heavier than me through fire and storms. This isn't just ink. It's proof that when everything tries to break me, I don't let it. For the first time, the boys didn't look so confident. They exchanged uneasy glances, suddenly aware of how small their cruelty was compared to her strength. But the mark on her arm wasn't just about training. It was about her story, a story none of them knew. A year ago, Claire had been broken. Her father, a forest ranger, had died while saving a family caught in a flash flood. His loss tore her world apart. She became withdrawn, quiet, invisible. She carried grief everywhere she went, unable to speak without her voice cracking. But one day, while sorting through his belongings, she found his ranger journal. Inside were words he had written. "Strength is not about never falling, Claire. It's about rising again when the world knocks you down." Those words lit a fire in her heart. She signed up for the same ranger program he had once led, determined to honor his memory. But nothing could have prepared her for what came next.